Hey, this is Yirmiyahu Weeps, and I have a request. I am asking if people could help me find civilization. I really want to find civilization, so if you could help me, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to tell you what I mean by civilization. These are some things that I think civilization looks like, and you can tell me if you disagree, if you think I'm wrong, okay? Not only would it have some basic things like a social structure, a stable food supply, religion, and may or may not have religion. That would be kind of free for people to investigate and figure out for themselves. Government and laws, and the place I live, there seems to be a lot of government and plenty of laws. So in that way, I think the place that I live right now is very civilized. Lots of laws. Culture would have culture, which would include like creativity and entertainment and such like that. And technology are all things that I think would be beneficial in a civilized place. But some things that I think that I would look for in a civilization is if it would have justice, because in a civilization you've got people relating to each other, right? So there would need to be justice. There would need to be someone in authority who would say, I'm going to solve disputes between people, and I'm going to do it to give the most benefit to people, to give them a good life. That's the whole purpose of justice and authority, is to benefit others and give them a good life and help them sort out things that are difficult to be sorted out. So I would say justice, food, having an adequate and stable food supply of nutritious, healthy food that's actually good for you, and whether it's food that you grow yourself or that you get from others, that it's trustworthy. You know that the food is actually good for you and it's actually real good food. I would say having shelter is a basic. Everybody needs to have a place to live, somewhere that's a stable environment for them. I'd say that's a necessity. Health, not only physical but also mental and emotional health, somewhere that that if your health gets in trouble, through whether it's through your fault or no fault of your own, that others are going to come to your aid, just like you're going to come to their aid if they get into health troubles. So some kind of stable health structure set up to provide health for those who need it. And I think that would be kind of a mutually beneficial thing, a thing that people would mutually look out for each other. Then security, somewhere where you don't feel like your life is being threatened just because you're alive. If you're going to the defense of your civilization, your people, then possibly your life may be threatened or something like that. Or if you're going, say you're firefighting, you're trying to stop a fire, your life may be in danger because of the fire. But if you're just going through your day, that your life isn't necessarily put at risk. Say you're gathering your food or getting your food or washing your clothing, okay? Then I would say also social fulfillment. Everybody needs to have positive social interaction, some form of love, caring, appreciation, or affection, I think is the word I was looking for. And then also things like dignity, respect, like I said, appreciation, and being understood. So I think those go along the lines of social fulfillment, but just having that dignity. So that's what I'm looking for, if someone could help me find that. Now, for myself, and I think that anybody can go back and you look through, well, your adulthood, are those things provided, especially your personal safety. And then you go back through childhood, when you're more dependent, are people providing for you. And you go back to when you're an infant and you're very dependent. Are people providing for you then? That's extremely essential. And then before you're an infant, before you're born, because when do you start as a human being? When does your life begin? When would you say your life began? Now, scientifically, my understanding is that life begins at conception, when a sperm and an egg, when two people have sex and the sperm and an egg unite and starts forming a new life. That's the moment that life begins. So if at any of those points in time, whether from pre-birth to infancy to childhood, to adolescence, to being an adult, to being an older adult, as you know, a senior citizen, when your body starts breaking down and possibly your mind start breaking down, and then you become more dependent. So it seems to be that really we're all very interdependent, and we all need to be able to rely on each other and have safety with each other. So you know, when I'm looking for a civilization, it doesn't need to be perfect, but it definitely, you know, there needs to be the status quo of security, so that either in your old age you won't be killed, you know, you can die naturally. If you're in pain or if you're suffering, that you'll be provided for. In your adulthood, that you'll help provide for others, but there won't be an unnecessary strain put on you to do so. That it will be more unilateral and not so much just focused on the strains of one person. And then when you're a child and you're an infant and you're a preborn, well, I'll just go with a child. You're still learning and growing, so you're starting to gain your independence, but you're still dependent. So you're provided for in that way, and preferably stable family structures would be ideal. You know, a mother and a father, you learn from both sexes. Since there's two genders, I know there's a little bit of variation on that on the fringes of humanity, but basically there's two genders, so you need to be able to have the two genders to learn from what genders are like and what that's all about and how they interact and operate and so forth. So childhood, you need to have a stable environment. Then when you're an infant, you need to be provided for. And then before you're an infant, at your very most vulnerable, when you're completely defenseless, you're still forming as a human being, you need a stable environment for that, somewhere where you're safe, somewhere where your life isn't going to be threatened. So, like I said, I'm looking for that. If somebody could help me find that. You know, I know that there's some places around the world that are rumored to be more along those lines, but I know that I don't live in one of them. The place that I live, that your life can be threatened from the moment that you're conceived until you're dead, and sometimes more than others. Sometimes your life can be threatened more than others, and depending on who. And I also see the place I live is very big into money, monetary gain. There's a lot that revolves around monetary gain, whether it's it can be life or death, you know. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking for, and government, somewhere that has a more stable government where you don't have to worry about corruption as much. You don't have to worry about government possibly violating you as a human being, things like that. So if anybody knows of anywhere that could kind of fit that description, that would be great. If not, I understand. I haven't been able to find one myself, but you know, so let me know if you come across a civilization. I would really appreciate you letting me know, because I'd love to find one. Thank you. Have a good life. Have a good day. Bye.